Over the centuries, both natural and accidental explosions have evoked awe and fear among people. While some of these explosions may have been accidents, most could have been prevented with appropriate precautions and safety measures. It is worth mentioning that these explosions have altered the course of history. Although these explosions have prompted stricter safety measures and forced businesses to change their harmful practices, they have still come at the cost of sacrificing millions of lives. On August 12, 2015, a series of explosions shocked the world in Tianjin, China. Scientists stated that it was the first ever consecutive explosion in history, with approximately 960 tons of ammonium nitrate detonated based on the size of the craters and the radius of the damage. The two explosions occurred within 30 seconds of each other, with the second explosion being much larger, involving around 800 tons of ammonium nitrate. The initial explosion sparked a massive fire that burned throughout the entire weekend, leading to 8 additional explosion incidents on August 15. The exact cause of the explosions remains unclear, but an investigation concluded in February 2016 indicated that the initial explosion was caused by the overheating of a container containing dry nitrocellulose. The official casualty report stated 173 deaths, 8 missing persons, and 798 non-lethal injuries. Among the 173 victims, 104 were firefighters. On the morning of April 16, 1947, a cargo ship docked in Texas City, USA caught fire, igniting the 2,300 tons of ammonium nitrate on board. The explosion triggered a chain reaction, causing nearby chemical plants to explode as well. The towering inferno pierced the sky, with orange smoke rising from the harbor visible at chemical plants 3 kilometers away. While Texans had never encountered such a situation, they remained optimistic about the unfolding events, believing it to be a fire that the firefighters would eventually extinguish. However, things did not unfold as expected, and the raging fire began to advance towards the crowds. The fire resulted in massive explosions and a tsunami-like wave. People in the vicinity were engulfed by the waves, with no chance of escape. As the waters receded, bodies swept away by the waves were returned to the bay, leaving behind a scene of devastation. The explosion claimed the lives of approximately 600 people and injured over 3,500. It was one of the deadliest industrial disasters in American history and one of the most severe storage tank explosion catastrophes in the world. The incident drew attention from all sides, prompting the government and businesses to implement stricter safety measures to prevent similar events from recurring. On December 6, 1917, the city of Halifax in Canada witnessed one of the most intense and tragic explosions in human history, predating the advent of atomic bombs. The explosion nearly devastated this beautiful port city. The incident occurred when a Belgian relief ship collided with the French ammunition ship Mont Blanc, which was loaded with 5,000 tons of explosives and ammunition, in the harbor. At the time, there were many citizens on the docks who were unaware of the impending danger and rushed to watch the spectacle. Little did they know that the Mont Blanc would explode after catching fire. Over 1,600 people on the shore and nearby were killed instantly, with 9,000 injured. Subsequently, more than 300 people succumbed to their injuries, resulting in a total of 1,950 deaths from the explosion. Buildings within a radius of 2.6 kilometers from the shore were destroyed, totaling over 12,000 houses demolished by the blast. After the explosion, a massive fire engulfed the entire city of Halifax, particularly the northern part, which turned into a fiery hell. The explosion caused immense casualties in this area, with bodies hanging outside windows and some individuals' heads blown off and unaccounted for. The force of this explosion surpassed all human-made explosions except for nuclear detonations. Almost every household in Halifax was affected by the explosion. In the year following the explosion, an official commemorative event was held in Halifax. However, for the next 50 years, no one dared to mention the explosion, as people were unwilling to reopen their emotional wounds. It was not until 1967, 50 years after the blast, that Halifax organized a second commemorative event to mourn the victims of the explosion. In 1986, a catastrophic nuclear reactor explosion occurred at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Ukrainian SSR, Soviet Union. It is considered the worst nuclear accident in human history. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant, located in northern Ukraine, was the first nuclear power plant built in the country during the Soviet era. Once a source of pride for the Soviet people, Chernobyl was believed to be the world's safest and most reliable nuclear power plant. However, on April 26, 1986, a loud explosion shattered this myth. The reactor number 4 of the power plant caught fire during a partially conducted test, leading to a massive explosion. It is estimated that the radiation contamination resulting from the nuclear leak accident was 100 times greater than the Hiroshima atomic bomb explosion in Japan. The explosion severely damaged the reactor, releasing over 8 tons of highly radioactive material into the environment. The released radioactive dust spread with the wind, causing nuclear radiation contamination in several regions of Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. Many war movie enthusiasts are familiar with the fact that during World War II, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It marked the first use of atomic bombs in warfare and the first use of nuclear weapons. The devastating power of nuclear weapons hastened Japan's surrender and brought an end to the war. The United States was at the forefront of atomic bomb research, competing with the German military. The Germans had made significant progress in their research on atomic bombs, and the technology was quite advanced. It was only a matter of time before they would be able to manufacture atomic bombs. However, some German scientists ultimately advised against the use of such weapons of mass destruction, and as a result, they were not able to create atomic bombs. After the defeat of the German military, a large number of scientists immigrated to the United States and were given favorable treatment. This created extremely favorable conditions for the United States to continue research and development of atomic bombs. Eventually, in early spring of 1945, the United States successfully developed the first atomic bomb, known as Little Boy. On July 16, 1945, in the desert area of Los Alamos, the first atomic bomb was successfully tested, using plutonium-239 as the fuel. This test marked the first time in history that humanity had mastered atomic bomb technology. It had a tremendous deterrent effect on fascist nations and expedited the military defeat of Japan, leading humanity towards peace. The Tunguska event was a mysterious explosion that occurred in 1908. The large explosion took place near the Tunguska River in the Ivanka Autonomous Okrug of Siberia, Russia, covering an area of over 2,000 square kilometers. Scientists believed that the explosion was caused by the impact of a small asteroid or comet. At a location 1,500 kilometers away from the explosion, seismic sensors recorded the event as a major earthquake. Even a day later, the fireball continued to illuminate the surrounding areas, and people in London could reportedly read newspapers at night under its glow. The cause of the so-called Tunguska explosion has been the subject of debate for decades, with various theories proposed, including the meteorite impact theory. Even the most dedicated proponents of the impact theory acknowledge that their explanations leave many questions unanswered. They strive to find answers that would enhance preparedness against future threats like the Tunguska event. Experts estimate that such events occur with a frequency of approximately once every 200 to 1,000 years. In 1815, Mount Tambora, located in Indonesia, erupted and became one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history. The volcano, originally standing at a height of 4,100 meters, was nearly halved in size after the eruption. Today, it stands at 2,851 meters, a testament to the tremendous force unleashed during the eruption. Mount Tambora is situated in the northern part of the island of Sumbawa, Indonesia. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 resulted in catastrophic consequences. With a deafening roar, it released an estimated energy equivalent to 800 million tons of TNT, roughly equal to the explosive force of 60,000 atomic bombs like the one dropped on Hiroshima, known as Little Boy. The eruption emitted a colossal amount of volcanic ash, about 150 to 170 cubic kilometers. The volcanic ash cloud covered the sky, causing significant impacts. The upper part of the volcano lost around 70 billion tons of mass, and volcanic ash deposition reached a thickness of 5 centimeters, even 1,000 kilometers away. The volcanic ash plume ascended to the stratosphere, affecting global climate. Over the next few years, average global temperatures dropped by approximately 0.53 degrees Celsius. The year 1816, known as the year without a summer, experienced significantly reduced temperatures worldwide. The eruption resulted in a devastating disaster, causing at least 50,000 deaths and the destruction of over 30,000 homes. Fortunately, the eruption's impact was primarily confined to the island, minimizing damage to other regions. In 1994, comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 collided with Jupiter in a series of powerful impacts. The comet, traveling at a speed of 60 kilometers per second, struck the surface of Jupiter, creating 21 major collisions. The largest impact generated a massive fireball that reached heights of 3,000 kilometers. The comet was named after its discoverers, Eugene M. Shoemaker, Carolyn Shoemaker, and David Levy. They spotted the comet in a series of photographs taken at the Palomar Observatory's Schmidt telescope, describing it as looking like it had been crushed. Upon hearing the news, their colleague, Scotty, immediately observed the comet with the space surveillance at Kitt Peak National Observatory, confirming a string of comet fragments lined up like a flock of geese. This glittering, translucent space necklace formed from the 21 shattered fragments of the comet orbiting around Jupiter. In July 1994, 2 years before its predicted return to Jupiter, comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 ultimately met its demise. These 21 comet nuclei, resembling a high-speed train of comets, collided with Jupiter at a rate of 60 kilometers per second, releasing an enormous amount of energy equivalent to 500 million atomic bombs like those dropped on Hiroshima. The dinosaur era came to an end in a catastrophic event approximately 65 million years ago, which resulted in the extinction of about half of the species on Earth. While studies indicate that the Earth was already on the brink of an environmental crisis before the Cretaceous Tertiary (KT) extinction or the KPG extinction, it is widely believed that the final blow that sealed the fate of the dinosaurs was a cosmic impact from an asteroid or comet with a diameter of approximately 10 kilometers. The explosive force of this impact was estimated to be equivalent to 10 trillion tons of TNT, roughly 1,000 times the scale of the world's nuclear arsenals. This collision had global repercussions, triggering worldwide storms and generating tsunamis thousands of kilometers high. The massive crater, approximately 180 kilometers wide, located near the coast of Mexico's Chicxulub, is believed to be the site of this explosive event. Gamma-ray bursts were first discovered in 1967 when the United States detected an intense signal during a satellite mission monitoring nuclear tests. Scientists concluded that this powerful signal did not originate from Earth but from the depths of the universe, marking the first ever detection of gamma-ray bursts in history. The energy released by gamma-ray bursts is incredibly immense, with the amount of energy released within a few seconds being equivalent to the total energy emitted by tens of suns throughout their entire lifetimes. It appears to be the most energetic cosmic phenomenon known to humans to date, with unimaginable destructive power on Earth or any celestial body in the universe. The eradication of humanity would be a mere blink of an eye for them. According to Western archaeologists' speculation, approximately 500 million years ago, Earth experienced a gamma-ray burst that directly led to the complete disappearance of the Ordovician period. Based on this archaeological inference, we can anticipate that gamma-ray bursts will once again visit our Earth on some future day. The only thing we as humans can do is to enhance our technological capabilities to the greatest extent possible before the next gamma-ray burst reaches Earth. The above is a list of the top 10 largest explosions in history. Do you know any other stories of significant explosions? You are welcome to share your observations in the comments section.